A new visa policy update from the Trump administration has sent waves of confusion and concern through Trinidad and Tobago. The changes are not a straightforward ban, but, a complex web of new requirements that are difficult to interpret, leaving many applicants in the dark. At the heart of the current immigration debate is the public charge rule, a policy that has become a source of significant confusion and concern for countless visa applicants and their families. The rule, which was dramatically expanded in recent years, fundamentally changes how the U.S. government evaluates whether someone seeking entry or permanent residency might become dependent on public benefits. This expansion has left many people feeling uncertain and anxious about their future prospects in the United States. For many, the rule is more than just a bureaucratic hurdle. It represents a potential barrier to reuniting with loved ones, pursuing new opportunities, or building a life in a new country. The emotional toll is real, as families weigh the risks and wonder if their dreams of a better future will be derailed by a single policy change. Under the new guidelines, applicants must now provide extensive documentation to prove their financial stability. This includes not only income and assets, but also details about debts, credit scores, health insurance, and even education levels. For many families, gathering and presenting this information is a daunting task. They pore over stacks of pay stubs, tax returns, and bank statements, trying to determine if they meet the ever-shifting requirements. The fear of making a mistake or missing a crucial document adds to the stress, as even a small oversight could result in a denial. The process can feel overwhelming, especially for those who are unfamiliar with the U.S. immigration system or who lack access to professional guidance. Some applicants spend weeks, even months, assembling the necessary paperwork, double-checking every detail in hopes of avoiding costly errors. The sheer volume of required evidence can be intimidating, and the pressure to get everything right is immense. The uncertainty is compounded by the lack of clear guidelines. Immigration attorneys and advocates report that the rules are often interpreted differently by various officials, leading to inconsistent outcomes. What might be considered sufficient income or assets in one case could be deemed inadequate in another. This inconsistency has forced many applicants to seek legal advice, often at significant personal expense, just to navigate the process. For those who do not speak English fluently, the challenge is even greater, as they must rely on interpreters and translated documents to ensure their case is understood. The language barrier can make an already complex process even more confusing, and the cost of hiring professionals can be prohibitive for many families. In some cases, applicants are forced to make difficult choices, such as prioritizing legal fees over other essential expenses, just to keep their hopes alive. The impact of the expanded public charge rule is felt across all walks of life. It is not just low-income families who are worried. Even middle-class professionals, business owners, and skilled workers now find themselves questioning whether they will be deemed a potential burden. The vague language of the rule means that people who have stable jobs and solid financial backgrounds are still left in limbo, unsure if their applications will be approved. This widespread anxiety has led to a chilling effect, with some eligible applicants choosing to delay or abandon their plans to move to the U.S. altogether. The ripple effects are seen in communities around the world, as families put their dreams on hold and businesses reconsider their international hiring strategies. In the end, the expanded public charge rule has introduced a level of uncertainty and fear that goes far beyond its original intent, reshaping the immigration landscape in profound and lasting ways. As the debate continues, many are left hoping for greater clarity and compassion in the system, so that the promise of opportunity in America remains within reach for those who seek it. In recent years, the process of applying for a U.S. visa has become even more complex and uncertain, especially when it comes to the concept of non-immigrant intent. This term, which might sound straightforward at first, actually refers to a set of requirements that applicants must meet to prove they do not plan to stay in the United States permanently. However, the criteria for demonstrating non-immigrant intent have become increasingly vague and difficult to interpret, leaving many applicants confused and anxious about their chances. The rules seem to shift without warning, and what was acceptable evidence one year might be dismissed the next. This ambiguity has created a climate of uncertainty for people all over the world who wish to visit the U.S. for study, tourism, or to see family. For many, the process feels less like a straightforward application and more like navigating a maze with invisible walls, where the path forward is never quite clear. The anxiety begins long before the interview, as applicants try to decipher what exactly will satisfy the ever-changing requirements. For students and tourists, the stakes are incredibly high. Imagine a young person who has worked hard to gain admission to a prestigious American university, or a family planning a long-awaited reunion after years apart. Now, these individuals must not only gather mountains of paperwork and navigate a maze of forms, but also convince a visa officer that they have no intention of remaining in the U.S. beyond their authorized stay. This is no small feat. The burden of proof falls entirely on the applicant, who must somehow demonstrate strong ties to their home country, such as a job, property, or family obligations, while also explaining why they want to visit the U.S. in the first place. The process can feel like a high-stakes interview, with every answer scrutinized for hidden motives. Even the most well-prepared applicants can find themselves second-guessing their responses, wondering if they've said too much or too little. The pressure is immense, as a single misstep or misunderstood answer can mean the difference between approval and denial. Applicants often rehearse their answers for days, seeking advice from friends, family, or even online forums, hoping to anticipate every possible question. Yet, despite all this preparation, the outcome can still feel like a roll of the dice. The result is a system where decisions often seem arbitrary and inconsistent. Two people with nearly identical backgrounds might receive completely different outcomes simply because of the subjective judgment of the visa officer. There are countless stories of students being denied visas despite having scholarships and clear plans to return home, or tourists being turned away after months of careful preparation. The lack of transparency in the decision-making process only adds to the frustration, leaving applicants feeling powerless and disheartened. For many, a single denial can mean the end of a dream, whether it's attending a world-class university, exploring a new country, or reuniting with loved ones. The unpredictability of the process can discourage even the most determined individuals, as they realize that their fate may rest on factors beyond their control. Some applicants spend years saving money and preparing for their chance, only to have their hopes dashed in a matter of minutes during a brief interview. The emotional roller coaster of anticipation, anxiety, and disappointment is a common experience shared by many who go through this process. The impact of these denials goes far beyond paperwork. They can shatter carefully laid plans, disrupt educational opportunities, and keep families apart for years. The emotional toll is immense as applicants grapple with disappointment and uncertainty about the future. For many, the dream of visiting or studying in the United States feels more out of reach than ever, all because of a system that demands proof of intentions that are nearly impossible to verify. The ripple effects can be felt not just by the applicants themselves, but also by their families, communities, and even the institutions that hope to welcome them. In the end, the challenge of proving non-immigrant intent is not just a bureaucratic hurdle, it's a deeply personal struggle that shapes the lives and aspirations of people around the world. When we think about borders, we often imagine a solid line or a towering wall, something clear and defined. But for millions of people around the world, the real barrier isn't made of concrete or steel. Instead, it's a shifting maze of bureaucracy, an invisible obstacle course made up of forms, interviews, and ever-changing requirements. Every day, hopeful travelers, families, students, and professionals find themselves navigating this complex system, unsure of what new rule or policy might appear next. The process can feel endless, with each step forward met by new paperwork, unexpected fees, or additional interviews. For many, the journey to cross a border is not just about geography, but about overcoming a system that seems designed to test their patience and resilience at every turn. The rules can change without warning, sometimes overnight. One day, a family is preparing for a long-awaited reunion, and the next, they're stranded by a sudden policy shift. The uncertainty is overwhelming. Parents worry about being separated from their children, spouses fear for their loved ones' safety, and entire families are left in limbo, their plans and dreams put on hold by decisions made far away, often with little explanation. The emotional roller coaster of hope and disappointment becomes a regular part of life, as people anxiously refresh websites and check their emails for updates that could change everything. Even the smallest change in a document requirement or interview date can send shockwaves through a family's carefully laid plans. It's not just families who are affected. Students who have worked hard to earn a place at a foreign university suddenly find themselves unsure if they'll be allowed to attend. Business people with international opportunities face delays and cancellations, their careers and investments hanging in the balance. For many, the uncertainty is a constant companion. Every email, every news alert, every official announcement could mean a major change in their future. The dreams of studying abroad, launching a new business, or building a life in a new country can be put on hold indefinitely, all because of a single policy update or administrative backlog. The ripple effects extend far beyond the individual, impacting communities, economies, and even the countries that rely on the movement of people and ideas. The stakes are high. A single change in policy can jeopardize years of planning, hard work, and hope. People who have built their lives around the promise of opportunity, whether it's a new job, a world-class education, or the chance to be with family, suddenly find those opportunities slipping away. The emotional toll is immense. Anxiety, frustration, and heartbreak become part of daily life for those caught in the web of shifting immigration and travel rules. The sense of powerlessness can be overwhelming as people realize that their futures are often determined by decisions made in distant offices by officials they will never meet. Yet, despite these challenges, people continue to hope, to plan, and to fight for a better future. In this environment, it's more important than ever to stay informed, understanding the latest policy changes, knowing your rights, and being prepared for what's next can make all the difference. But with so much information out there, some of it confusing, outdated, or even misleading, how can you be sure you're getting the facts you need? The digital age has made information more accessible, but it has also made it harder to separate fact from rumor. Social media, online forums, and unofficial sources can spread misinformation quickly, leaving people more confused and anxious than before. That's why having a trusted source is essential. That's where we come in. Our mission is to cut through the noise and provide you with clear, timely, and accurate information about the policies that affect your life. Whether you're planning a move, waiting for a visa, or just trying to understand what the latest headlines mean for you and your loved ones, we're here to help you make sense of it all. We work tirelessly to verify updates, consult with experts, and break down complex regulations into simple, actionable advice. Our goal is to empower you with knowledge, so you can approach every challenge with confidence and clarity. If you want to stay ahead of the curve and make informed decisions, don't leave it to chance. Hit that subscribe button and ring the notification bell. By subscribing, you'll get instant access to our latest updates, expert analysis, and practical tips, delivered straight to you, so you're never caught off guard by sudden changes. You'll also become part of a community that shares your concerns and your hopes, where you can find support, ask questions, and share your own experiences. Together, we can help each other navigate the challenges and celebrate the victories, big and small. Join our community of informed viewers who refuse to let uncertainty dictate their future. With the right information, you can take control, make confident choices, and turn obstacles into opportunities. So, subscribe now, stay connected, and let us help you navigate the ever-changing landscape of global policies, because your future deserves clarity, not confusion. Remember, knowledge is power, and together we can face whatever changes come our way with resilience and hope.